Hi folks,
Hi.
it's a beautiful weekend and we are on our way to Mackinac Island. Should be a short flight, 3 or 4 hours, and come check it out. So we filed a simple IFR flight plan that took us over Lake Erie, into Canadian airspace, then over Lake Huron, and directly into Michigan.
Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, Dutchess Tower, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 24, 7 Tango Juliet.
We took off in clear blue sky, and most of the trip was just perfect weather. But as in any long distance trip, there's always some clouds along the way. So before long, we were getting close to Canadian airspace. So for our flight plan today, we were cutting straight across Lake Erie and into Canada briefly. And you can see that on the map here by the white line that I'm pointing to. And from here, this was a huge shortcut for us because if we weren't able to do this, we would have had to go around Lake Erie and take the long route to Michigan. And this was already a 600 nautical mile trip, so we wanted every shortcut we could take.
Okay, so we are in Canada now. We're actually really close to London. And the cool thing about this is that not only is the town called London, but they even have a Thames River that goes right through it. How cool is that?
As we got closer to our destination, we canceled IFR and flew VFR under the clouds and just enjoyed the view. So Mackinac Island is a pretty interesting place. They have no motorized vehicles allowed on the island, and the island is pretty small. It's about 8 miles in perimeter, and the only way to get around is with bicycles or horse-drawn taxis. So when you land at the little tiny airport, you have to walk about maybe 20 or 30 feet from your plane right to the horse-drawn taxi. Here's our horse-drawn taxi right here, and we've arrived at the airport, and the planes are literally right there. And believe it or not, this is the downtown section of Mackinac Island. Nothing but horses, bikes, and fudge shops. So between the biking, the golfing, and the general sightseeing, there was just plenty to do all weekend. But the best part about it was that this weekend was a COPA Cirrus pilots fly-in weekend. So I got to catch up with a whole bunch of friends, old and new, that are all Cirrus pilots as well. So it was a lot of fun. After a great weekend with COPA friends, old and new, it was time to go home. And the ride home was even more scenic than the trip here. We first took a quick lap around the island and then made our way straight again through Canada, direct all the way home. Not even a fuel stop. So as you can see, we had a slightly different route on the way home, which was more direct. We went over Lake Huron and Lake Ontario. The views were just breathtaking along the way. Another nice thing about this flight is that we had a really nice tailwind most of the way. We averaged between 190 and 200 knots ground speed. If you like this video, don't forget to hit subscribe so you can keep up with my latest videos.